the season-long prop bets. Let's dive right on into this.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Prop it up.
Let's go play.
Player plays.
Okay, so we're looking at individual season-long prop bets. This is like Christmas in, I would say, April, June, July, August, because you've been making bets all off-season, Crack. You could go with QBs, running backs, wide receivers, any. The NFL is your oyster. What do you start to hone in on as you're making these individual season-long prop bets?
Well, you know, if you guys only knew, I see you guys do know because you've seen copies of my tickets and bets before, but I tie up a lot of money this time of the year. Like literally, there's not enough money I can get my hands on to tie up on these season-long over-unders. And let's just face it, I'm more of an under player. And like I said earlier, but there's really a lot of back-tested method to this. You don't really need, it's almost the common sense method too. I bet unders on players, for their yardage for the season. All it takes is 1 or 2 games where they're out with an injury, maybe they get hurt, carried off the field for a couple plays, come back in, back and forth, maybe rest a little gingerly the next week on it. So I'm looking to bet unders on, this year probably 80%. Last year was 90% unders, probably 80%. I do have a couple overs mixed in, but I know I recommend this for people and they get upset, they get nervous, and oh my God, how many plays do you have? Like when I'm walking through a casino, which I just did recently in Connecticut, and I was stopped by a couple different people asking me what I'm betting, and they said, I don't want that. I want something that plays like what? Give me a game today. What do you like in the Dodger game? No, there's no like. I'm looking long term here. I'm looking at something that has a 10% plus edge, 65% return compared to a straight bet. And let me just tell you, I'll just mention some of them here. Do your shopping because lots of spots have this up, but BetMGM does have these up too. All unders here on rushing yards. I want to go through these real quick with you guys. Najee Harris under, Cam Akers under, Brian Robertson under, David Montgomery under, Dalvin Cook under, James Conner, Tony Pollard. All these guys have bet under on their season-long rushing yards. And again, let me tell you, you have a built-in advantage here because people don't like betting unders. So the sports books already know it's implied that it's like an implied odds. They actually add a little bit to a lot of things here. A lot of these yards are added. But do your shopping. Still some really good, like I said before, low-hanging fruit out there. Love the unders, again, on these rushing yards. But, I do have a couple of overs mixed in this year, which I don't really even want to give an over out, but I guess I will. Oh, also Beckham receiving touchdowns. I just seen this again today. I have under 5.5, laid $1.40 on that, on his receiving touchdowns. But I'll just keep on going. A couple of the overs that I did play. Again, I don't know. I don't want to give them. I'm not giving them over.
Come on.
Passing yards.
Hey,
let's give you 3 unders on passing yards too. This is not going to be fan favorites here because Hurts had such a great season. Hurts under, Prescott under, and Wilson under. Even though I think Dallas is going to have a good season with Prescott, I still think I've seen 4,100 yards. Yeah. Jesus. There's some, and I think Wilson probably will come back from last season a little bit. Still like the under, though. So sorry to be boring, guys. Sorry to like all these unders. This is about money. My allegiance is my bankroll. I have no allegiance to a player, to a team. I don't care about them. They don't care about me. I care about money.
All right. I'm going to raise you one, Crack.
Okay.
On my podcast, Josh Worked is Smarter Than You. You guys can check it out anywhere you want. We go through every division in the NFL and we give out our favorite wagers, all right? And we're doing a project this year where we take the under for every starting running back in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, because it has shown year after year that you're going to hit a lot of these. You're going to hit 75% of these unders.
Yep.
We're doing it for all of them. Every starting running back in the NFL, we're taking their under. I don't care. I might think they're going to go over. We just did NFC East. We took Rashad Penny under 600 yards. 600 yards. That's it. Under. He's been over that total once in his career. We took all the unders because, to your point, it's not fun, but we're supposed to be winning money, right? That's the goal of wagering. And last year, a buddy of mine sent me this thing. He took basically in 2022, he bet the under for the top 5 leaders in passing, rushing, and receiving from the previous season. from the previous year. So 2021's leaders, he bet the under for the top 5 of passing yards, rushing yards, and receiving, and he hit 12 of 15 unders.
Wow.
Like, it's. I know it's not fun, but I will give you a couple overs. I will give you overs that I like, just to make it fun.
Let's do it.
I like George Pickens over 4.5 touchdowns. That number is ridiculously low. He had 4 last season. He's going to be better in year 2 in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett's going to be better in year 2 in Pittsburgh. That, to me, is one that I like. I know this number's up there, but Tyreek Hill over 1,300.5 receiving yards. I'm betting on Tua staying healthy. He had 1,700 yards last season, and Tua missed five games. I like 2 guys to go over there. Well, I think I have one right now, but Micah Parsons over 12.5 sacks. That number feels low to me. He's been over 13 2 straight seasons, and he's not been a full-time pass rusher this year. He's going to be a full-time pass rusher. So like that, I like TJ Watt over 13.5 sacks. He's back from injury, guys. He's had, I think he had 15, then 22.5. Last year was hurt. I like sack totals. I hit pretty well on those. Bosa last year, I hit Bosa's last year. And then last over I like so far, Amon-Ra St. Brown over about 1,000 yards. It depends where you get it at. He had 1161 last season. He's their best receiving option in an offense that gets kind of some easy yards every now and then. So that's sort of what I like. But I'm telling you, I took every running back under for this season. I took Jalen Hurts under rushing as well. I'm along the same lines of you and just kind of what his production might be this season.
I like to see what happens at the end of the year, and I'll tell you what, if I had a wager yes/no, I'd be on your side. So just a vanilla under there across the board. And now, what did you do there? You're picking one. They're just their big starting the big starting running back for each team.
I'm trying to. I mean, like, it depends. Some aren't listed yet. It's just kind of the way it is on some websites. Some places. I unfortunately, don't live in a state that has them. But yeah, if you're like listed as a starter, the Panthers, for example, have a couple guys they're going to use. But Miles Sanders at 900.5 rushing yards. Like that's too many. He's not going to get that many in an offense that rotates running backs. I took Travis Etienne under. I'm looking at my list right now. Derrick Henry under. I took Dameon Pierce under. I hit them all, man. I just hit them all.
I like some of these quarterback touchdown passes that are under 20. Some of these stand out. Kenny Pickett, Steelers quarterback. The total is at 18.5.
Oh,
it's actually juiced to the under.
He'll be over that, yeah.
I think under.
He likes
I
under?
think over as well. No, I like over.
You like over? Okay.
I like over on that, but
Okay.
it's juiced to the under, Craig. What do you like on
Right.
that?
No, I mean, listen, I think Pittsburgh's going to – you guys said it earlier. Pittsburgh one of you guys said something about their season wins. I actually looked at it, as you said. I went on BetMGM and looked at it. I lean more over to their season wins than not. I think Pickett's due after, he's had a season under his belt here. I think I would lean that way. I'm not betting it, though. I'll give you my favorite line. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, there you go. You think last year, Daniel Jones of the Giants, he had 17 touchdown
15.
passes? 15 and 5 last year. So his line is at 17.5. Like, in today's NFL, a veteran quarterback getting to 18 touchdown passes in a season is not earth-shattering. But for Daniel Jones, it might be. Desmond Ridder, the Falcons rookie quarterback. First-year starter-ish. Had 4 starts last year. But second year in the league, 15.5 is his touchdown pass prop. And it's, again, juiced to the under. Under could very well hit there.
I took his under passing at 2,600, which is like nothing. But I just don't think that, dude. They don't throw the ball a lot, and I don't think he's anything special. And I think at some point, Heineke might see the field.
Hey, you might be right. It's possible, but the weapons around him, Drake London, want to see if Kyle Pitts has a resurgence. Had a great rookie season, not so much last year. And then Bijan Robinson, man, you're right. They're going to run the ball a lot. Arthur Smith is like, run it. 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yep.
It's a lot of what they do over there. It is Fox Sports Radio's Countdown to Kickoff, presented by BetMGM. BetMGM Sportsbook account holders will receive a bonus bet to use on any sport. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com. After login, get a bonus bet to use on any sport. One of the guys I'm really interested to see is Packers quarterback Jordan Love, obviously taking over for Aaron Rodgers right there. Listen, guys, young quarterback, he's thrown 83 passes in the NFL, throwing to young weapons. They have either first or second year guys. They have a couple of rookie tight ends, rookie slot receivers, second year wide receivers. I don't think it's going to be prolific. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains. So if you look at Jordan Love in terms of yardage, 33, 49.5. Also touchdowns at 21.5. I don't see him north of 21 touchdown passes with 83 career attempts. I just don't see it. I think they're going to pound the rock. Yeah. I think they're going to be the Patriots of the NFC. I think they're going to rely on their defense, try to run the ball effectively, mix in the passing game. I don't see 22 touchdown passes from Jordan Love this year.
Not with the weapons he has either, right? I mean, that's part of it as well. There's just there's a lack of, I think, of. It's why Aaron Rodgers probably wanted to leave. There's just not as the weapons aren't as great there. And to your point, I think they're going to try to make sure that he doesn't have to be the offense. That's pretty bad, right? Fourth year in the NFL, your first round pick, and they're hopeful that you're not the offense. You're the reason they basically don't win.
Yeah, that's where they're at. That's just not part of their formula. And, man, you could spend all day on these season-long prop bets. I'll ask Craig this. How much of your bankroll, percentage-wise, would you say is tied up with season-long prop bets?
Well, I tell you, it's not for the weak-hearted, that's for sure. A very large percent. I'll tell you one thing. I'll invest. I'm not going to say the dollar amount because most people won't believe it. But I started this thing out 30 years ago, guys, with literally $1,000, $1,000 dedicated for sports betting. And when you're talking about percentage of bankroll, 1 or 2%, that's $10 or $20. It doesn't sound very fun. Even today, someone that has $1,000, that's what you cannot win. The smartest people in the world, the people with the best information in the world, you cannot win. Having $1,000 just allotted for gambling and betting $100 a play with the best information in the world, 10%. You can't do it. So as far as percentage of bankroll, I'll probably have a good 20, 25% of my bankroll of my gambling bankroll in action on season-long props. Now it's getting harder and harder to make these bets for myself. I have to go to the counters now instead of some of the apps, and they let you rebet them, so you can keep on rebetting them as long as you give them a couple minutes to move the line. If they don't choose to move them, well then I like to go double down, triple down on them. So I do bet a lot of money on them, but the ROI on them compared to the regular season is so much greater that it's worth that exposure. It's worth me putting more on the line there than anything else. I love props every week, though. You have to understand. You guys will know that when you listen to the show this year, I'll be giving out a lot of live stuff, and we just between us last year we destroyed bookmakers on this show, especially the first dozen shows last year during the regular season. There was bookmakers on Monday morning hiding under the bed from us. So, I
remember, what was it, week 1 or week 2 with the Niners and the Bears, where it was the
under
monsoon,
week 1. We had that information before it even came on air, though, but how bad it was. And then when the TVs come on and the sideline reporters start showing, and then you have all the big names on TV showing what's going on in the background. I remember Jeff actually saying it last year when it came on. We already had that information a half hour before it came on TV to bet both quarterbacks under on passing yards, because it's the wind, but it's not just the rain. It's the wind that means everything. And we had that information here on the show. And throughout the season, we had great information like that. And people that listen in, they really cashed in. So hopefully we live up to if we do half as good as last year, it's a great season. That's how good last year was. But we're planning to, though.
I mean, you already got books moving preseason lines, Crack. So, I mean, they're worried about you already.
Yeah, no, you guys see when I when I tell you guys something in the chat, it does go our way. We're going to have the best of it by the time the ball is in the air, that's for sure. And that's what it is. It's over and over again. As long as you have the best of it, as long as you get what we call CLV, closing line value, in the end, that equals money. It equals money. So over the long term, over the long period, you just have to stay in control, bankroll management. Don't chase. Everyone loves Saturday. Even though we're an NFL show, I love when I see people Saturday betting the Hawaii midnight game. They have nothing. It's just action at midnight. Come on, guys. If it's either a play or it's not a play. It's not just because it's the last game on TV. The same thing with the Sunday, Monday night, and Thursday night games in the NFL. Yeah. Do you have to have a bet? Yes. Yes, most people have to have a bet. Yes, there's no love of the game. There's love of the bankroll.
I'll tell you what, guys.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Hawaii +7 hosting Stanford in week 1.
Yeah,
put it down. Oh yeah, hosting the Cardinal in Hawaii. It's not the late game. I think it's not it's a little earlier.
But do you like Florida better than that? Because Florida, you gave us out early in a chat.
I like them the same. I don't really like. I don't really ever have games where I feel like
right.
Like, oh my God, this is like the locks don't exist. I like them the same.